It's go time, this is Game Day Sports Radio. Hope you got your game face on, let's go. We be talking all sports, every year a new season. Who the best players are and who your favorite team is. Dr. and Parker got what you need. When it comes to the podcast, we're still undefeated. We hate losing, we're on a winning streak. Come and see us, we'll be here talking sports every week.
Welcome, sports fans, non-sports fans, heck, any fan in general. Welcome to another podcast or episode of Game Day, the podcast covering everything and anything about sports in general. I'm Ethan Doctor, alongside my good friend Josh Parker. We will be your hosts today. Enjoy the show.
So again, like Mr. Doctor was saying, I'm Parker here. We're going to get started off talking a little bit about the Aaron Rodgers and the Jordan Love. And it isn't making the Packers miss Aaron Rodgers any less. With Aaron Rodgers' absence looming largely over the Packers' mandatory minicamp, quarterback Jordan Love took the first team snaps during Tuesday's minicamp practice and didn't exactly make the Packers miss miss Rodgers any less. Love, Green Bay's first-round selection in last year's draft, struggled with accuracy, connecting on 12 of 23 pass attempts throughout the afternoon. What's your insight on that, Doctor?
Well,
what do you think?
Sorry, Parker. 12 of 23 is not exactly the best ratio, but that was from yesterday. Now, today, Love kind of lit it up in practice. He only missed about six balls, and he compiled for almost 200 yards in practice. So the coaching staff had a good day with him, and they feel confident about Love if Rodgers doesn't show up for the start of the season.
So the team also did a 2-minute drill, but Love was unable to guide of the offense past 50-yard line, according to the U.S. Today. The second-year quarterback overthrew his targets on two separate throws. Once to tight end Robert Tonyan? Am I right?
Tonyan.
And then overcome receiver Taylor on a fourth down, which ended the drive. It was just the first day of practice, but Love's struggles were still notable. He needs every rep he can get right now, head coach Matt said. According to U.S. Today, he's a young quarterback that was not afraid of a preseason last year, so we'll give him as many as he can handle. We'll spell him in every now and then, but I just think every rep that he takes is so valuable, and you can learn something both from the good and the bad. Rodgers has refused to show up to the mandatory practices and may hold out through training camp. He has become frustrated with the team's front office and the culture, and some reports say that will not play another snap for the team. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'm a Packers fan. For all you that can't see, I'm wearing a Brett Favre jersey right now. The last time that this happened actually was when Favre was quarterback of the Packers. But the Packers definitely they took some wrong steps with Rodgers and his relationship. They've screwed up a little bit, but if they feel confident about Love and want to move forward with him, then they have the option to trade Rodgers now that his salary cap won't, kill their plans for the future now. So if they did trade him, I'd look for a spot like Denver, maybe Oakland, where he could get weapons and they could get a haul back, including a quarterback, if they didn't feel comfortable about Love. But we'll see. We'll see. This is only mini camp. There's a long way till the season starts. So, hopefully Rodgers comes back, and if he doesn't, I trust the coaching staff. So,
I agree with Doctor. It's only one practice, but so far Love doesn't appear ready to take on the reins. when it comes push to shove. But hopefully the Packers come together and Rodgers comes back in and as a team player, and comes back and gives Love the support he needs. So, what we got for our next topic?
Something that could have helped the relationship with Rodgers and the Packers. Julio Jones, the All-Pro wide receiver, got traded this weekend, this past weekend, to the Tennessee Titans for a second-round pick and a fifth-round pick that Tennessee gets back in return. Or not Tennessee, Atlanta gets back in return. This now puts Tennessee with a three-headed monster with running back Derrick Henry, who's averaging 1,500 yards, 1,500 yards a season. And then all-pro wide receiver A.J. Brown, who's only in his third year now. And then you have Julio. With that, defenses are going to have to choose which one to double-team and which one not to double-team. And then once you get the coverages fixed out, then you got to worry about that big beast in the backfield. So, this Titans offense definitely got more potent. So we'll see how the new-look Titans look next year. But that could have helped the Packers definitely bring Rodgers back with his complaint of weapons. So as a Packers fan or as any other fan of a sports team or a NFL team, you have to kind of shake your head at the price that Julio went for, getting an all-pro and a stud wide receiver like that for such a low price. So, yeah, but so now looking at the Titans' schedule, the only thing holding them back is their defense. Their defense was one of the worst in the league last year, and they made some improvements. So, look out for Tennessee next year. But, of course, you can't really take away there's probably 5 teams in the AFC right now I'd look for to be Super Bowl contenders. Kansas City, of course, with their all-star roster. Buffalo, who's more hard-nosed, and, they're still on offense. They're an offensive team still. Baltimore, they've just always been dominant. And, Cleveland could be interested in that too because they had such a good season last year and they feel confident about their guys that they've drafted. I think they have the best draft, so I think they've improved. And then now Tennessee with this Julio trade, they'll put up at least 45 points a game in my opinion.
Yeah, in his time, with the Falcons, Jones earned honors as the All-Pro of 5 different occasions, 7 Pro Bowl nods, led the NFL in receiving yards twice, and was named to the NFL 2010 All-Decades team. Jones reeled in 12,996 receiving yards and 60 touchdowns. That included 7 of his 10 seasons, breaking a 1,000-yard receiving mark, with 3 of those 7 surpassing 1,500 yards. At one point, nearing 1,900 yards in 2015, the 32-year-old has battled some injury as of late. The cost his games in the 2020, but still delivered 771 receiving yards in only 9 games last year.
700-plus yards in nine games is still crazy for a 32-year-old. When people say he's had some injury problems, yes, he has had some injury problems, but it's not like he's always missing games. So we'll see what he'll do in Tennessee. I'm excited. He even changed his number to from 11 to 2. 2 as a wide receiver isn't exactly the most common number, but we'll see how it looks on Julio and his new look threads. So,
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Julio coming back and. I just totally forgot what I was about to say. That kind of happens when you're sitting here, I guess. But moving on, we're going to go ahead and move on to the LeBron James. Tell us a little bit about that there, Doctor.
So LeBron James was always, he'd never lost a first-round playoff series. That all changed a few days ago. LeBron, for the first time ever, lost to the Phoenix Suns in the first round, meaning he's now 14-1 in playoff series in the first round. And this isn't exactly a legacy blow for LeBron. I think he's top 5 all time. But this was definitely something historical that I thought we should cover on Game Day.
Yeah, he's 17-time All-Star. 2019, he had the AST champion. He's a 16-time All-NBA. 2003, 2004 All-Rookie. He made the 4-time Finals and the MVP. He made the 2003-2004 Rookie of the Year. He's a 4-time NBA champ, 6-time All-Defensive, 3-time MVP, 4-time MVP, I should say, So in his career, the guy's made some good headway in the NBA, so made a really good name for himself.
Well, when you're considered to be one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time by my generation at least, and like you just listed off, I mean, all 4-time MVP, 4-time champ, 17-time All-Star. I mean, that is some impressive stuff. I have him in my top 3. I think it goes Jordan because he has 6 rings in the era that he grew up or that he was in.
I would agree.
I think Kobe was the second because he's the closest thing that Jordan will probably ever see. He's got 5 rings, and even Michael Jordan said the only player that could beat him one-on-one is Kobe Bryant because he copied all his moves. So, I mean, when you've got a modern-day Jordan, that's kind of hard not to put him to. And I think LeBron makes a strong case for 3. I'd probably put him in a tie with a few others, but he has a strong case to be top 5 in all time. I think Shaq would probably be in there. I think I'd put him above Shaq, though, because just how, I think LeBron's been a little bit more dominant over his career, and he's aged better than Shaq did. But during Shaq's prime, I think he was a better player. So,
I think going back into my time, I was a big Larry Bird fan, all the way from French Lick, Indiana. Larry Bird, and I'd say probably Michael Jackson were my top 2 favorites. But LeBron's, putting up a good running, alongside Michael Jordan. He's made a lot of great attempts, a lot of great awards, and like I say, made a really good name for himself.
Yeah, but the one thing is about ranking someone top, top 5 or top 10 or, who's the best. All these players played in different eras next to, like, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan, Kobe and LeBron kind of played in this more fouls are being called league, and Jordan played in an era where you could basically tackle someone and you wouldn't get called for a foul. So, I mean, if you look at eras, Michael Jordan is my GOAT, but, I mean, you could go either way with my top 3, so.
All right. Well, moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about the Notre Dame expansion. So, built in 1930 during Coach Rookney, has been the witness to 24 undefeated home seasons, 7 Heisman Trophy winners, and 8 national championships, and is recognized worldwide as one of the true landmarks of American college. I would say out of all college football, not just football, I also follow Notre Dame hockey. I would say probably one of the best team players all around. It's a good school. They've got a good team, playability, I should say. They're always out to help each other and, help improve, not just them as a player, but, as a whole team. So we wanted to do a little tribute to that. And I want to thank one of the guys here in Wabash. Some of you may know Tom Spees stopped me one day, and I was actually all decked out in my Notre Dame jumpsuit and just got out of the gym, and I went to eat breakfast at the Fried Egg, and he stopped me on my way out, and he said, "Hey, I got something for you." And he actually bought quite a few of these and shipped them out and sold them when they actually did the expansion back in 96 and 97. And he had this specific one left because it wouldn't close the box on it because it had a bunch of concrete right over the top of it. So the box wouldn't close, so it wasn't good for shipment. So he's like, "I want to give this to you." And I was like, "No way," And that's the time I had that Rudy Root Tiger jersey. I had that signed while I was down in South Bend. And I got authenticity on that, and I ended up getting rid of it, and I wish I wouldn't. But Ethan's going to, or I'm sure Doctor here is going to tell us a little bit about, his experiences and, what he has came across there at the Notre Dame Stadium.
Notre Dame is the best atmosphere in college football. It doesn't matter if you're a fan or not. Just going up there once, twice, maybe 3 times my whole life, that's the stuff I'll never forget. The fans are just, they're chaotic. The tailgates are awesome. And then once you get in the stadium and you see those gold helmets and blue uniforms, just start running out of that tunnel. I mean, the whole place just goes wild. It's like a whole entire. It's undescribable, really. And then watch them during warmups. I grew up. I watched Rudy, with my family, and when my dad first took me up there, it was like a dream come true. Even though it was like -7 degrees, you still sit through that because you love your team, and you love the atmosphere, and you love everything about Notre Dame football and the history. I mean, if you walk into or if you step foot in that stadium, you can just feel there's something different about the stadium than any other stadium in the whole country. And right before kickoff, you can hear the whole entire student body and just the whole entire stadium. I mean, it's just a buzz. It's just go. I mean, the whole entire time. And I mean, if I was an away team, I would hate playing there because it gets so loud. I was sitting right next to my dad, and I could barely hear anything because of how loud that stadium was. And I truly miss it because, that's always the time that I enjoy. I plan on going back up there to watch Notre Dame beat Purdue, my cousin's college. So I'm taking her with me. So go Irish.
It's going to be a good game. I'm looking forward to this season. Notre Dame's going to have a great season again this year. Last year, they had it in their hands, and then just there towards the end. I think this year they can pull it off. Hopefully go a little further than they did this past year.
Maybe. I mean, the schedule's gonna be tough towards the end of it anyway. The beginning's pretty easy. They open up with a rebuilding Florida State team, and then like Toledo, and like I said, Purdue at home. Purdue hasn't really had a statement win since they beat Ohio State a few years ago. But then, like, you get into the North Carolinas and the USCs and the, Cincinnati's. I know Cincinnati's an up-and-coming program, so they could They could definitely go undefeated this year, but it's going to take a lot more effort than it did last year. They've got a new quarterback, or they've got a quarterback battle going on right now, so they don't know who their quarterback is. But the recruiting has definitely been really, really good, especially on the offensive line. Blake Fisher is a 6'6", 300-something pound lineman. There's a video of him on Instagram running at 21 mile an hour. He's from Avon College in Indianapolis. Just a big human in general. The offensive line, of course, is what Notre Dame is known for. So we'll see if they can continue to build a legacy around that offensive line and recruiting. So we'll see.
All right. Well, going into the Wabash Apaches High School, we're just going to give a brief update here on the varsity. I do believe Monday the 31st, we got the sectional championship coming up. Along with Tuesday the 1st, we've got the regionals, along with the boys golf at Madison Grant. And then Friday the 4th, we got track and field. That's the COVID. That's the state finals. And then I believe Saturday is the baseball varsity regional, alongside with the state finals for track and field. And then it looks like we got another sectional coming up on the 7th for the boys golf. That'll be the 7th, and then I do believe the regional will be on the 10th. And then it looks like they'll have that state meet on the 15th and 16th. So a little update on the Wabash Apaches. Any update on the Huntington North athletics or anything like that, Doctor?
Actually, yes. There was state finals for track and field. And one of our runners, Addie Wiley, was competing in the mile. She ended up winning the state title in the mile. So, honestly, that's a big thing for Huntington. She's a 3-time state champ, or 2-time, 3-time state champ. So she's already getting looked at by some serious D1 colleges. She's also a big cross-country runner. So we'll see how it is come August when I come back into the building, and if we do anything special. I don't know. It's been a while since this school's had a state champ, so.
It'd be really nice to see Huntington North take that.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I've actually graduated from Huntington North as well, and athletics was strong. It was just a lot of different coaching staffs, in and out of coaches in the 4 years that I attended Huntington North. And it looks like they've got a, pretty good, solid coaching staff now, coming into athletics. And looks like they're building up a good, good program. So I'm really looking forward to Huntington North's sports this year.
Yeah, I'm actually a wrestler at Huntington North. We've built a solid program. We've built a pretty good program. We've sent a lot of guys to the state meet in Indianapolis. But I'm excited to see what this year holds because it's my first year starting varsity. So, got to get that off-season work in. And then the football team, I think, is going to have a decent year. So I'm excited to see what they can do there. Our basketball team's always been pretty good. So with the same coaching staff that we've had for years now, we'll see if we can get past, get to that title. So I really hope we can, though, because that would be something if we won a state title while I was in school.
That would be nice. So, again, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in here to Game Day here on the Unique Beats platform. It's always a pleasure having Doctor alongside us here on Game Day. Again, if you would like to come on here, if you were a sport athlete, you'd like to come on here, we'd love to have some athletes on here we'd like to interview, whether it be high school, college, even a pro. just simply email us at uniquebeats03@gmail.com or just contact one of us. Either contact Doctor, check us out on all social media. Easiest way to follow us is just to go to uniquebeats.com. And again, this was kind of a short segment this time, but we're looking to structure this a little better for the next show. So if you got any inputs or any comments, feel free to join us on that Spreaker link. Like I say, the easiest way to find that is at uniquebeats.com, or just go to either one of our social medias and just give us some input. You know, get on that chat room and just let us know, you know, if you want an insight on a little bit of the sports here on Game Day. You know, we can chat back and forth through the chat room as well. But anything you got to say here, Ethan, before we call it?
Just thanks for listening, and if you have any questions, just DM me on Instagram. My Instagram's pretty easy. It's just Ethan Doctor. So, till next time, I'm Doctor. See you soon.
It's go time, this is Game Day Sports Radio. Hope you got your game face on, let's go. We be talking all sports, every year a new season. Who the best players are and who your favorite team is. Dr. and Parker got what you need. When it comes to the podcast, we're still undefeated. We hate losing, we're on a winning streak. Come and see us, we'll be here talking sports every week.